It was September of last year when I first heard whisperings of a new project on the cryptoverse called Project 79. Now, as I always do with these projects, I made a lot of research and made a video about my research. Then I put in a little bit of money to see exactly how it all worked, and then I waited. Now it's about 100 days later, and we're going to dive in and see exactly what happened, how it works. We're going to look at how safe my money is, how safe it feels in the long term, and we'll talk a little bit about how to get started in this project if that's something that interests you. Let's dive right in. So first off, we'll talk about some things on their white light paper and how they work. What Project 79 does is it attempts to bridge real-world ways of making money with crypto. The idea being obviously that crypto right now is going through a tough time, and if they can make that bridge, good things can happen. So if you read their white paper, you can see they put out a pretty cool looking white paper right there. At least it looks good, right? And what they're doing is gold arbitrage. So what they've done is they've set up a bunch of contracts with miners and things in Dubai, and they've claimed that they can sell this gold at a higher price than the contracts that they have set up, meaning they will take a return, right? They'll buy it for one price and they'll sell it to refiners and things like that for a higher price, and then they'll pocket return. Now, if you're looking to get involved in this project, you're essentially a piece of that, right? You're putting in money, they're using that money to buy, and then they're going to get a return. They'll take a portion of that return, and then they'll give you the rest. And according to Project 79, they expect you to make 4 to 7% every single month based on their contract and what they're currently seeing in the market. Now, when I first started, there was nothing. Like, you had no way to verify any of this, but we're going to go over a few different ways that this can be verified now. Now, this isn't the most legit one right here, but you can see right here in your main dashboard, they kind of have a record of what's going on, gold being processed by refineries, things like that. You can kind of see the general flow of what's happening. Now, a few really important things to note, logistically speaking, you can't always get in on this project. The way they do it is they open up to new investors or new applicants every month. And so just for a few days every month, can you actually put in money? And then what happens is they actually lock up that money for 6 months. And so they kind of need that money, from the way I understand it at least, they need that money. And they need to know that you're not going to pull out that money because they've got it locked up in different contracts and things like that. So you promise to lock up your funds for 6 months, and then they'll unlock them at the end of 6 months. During that 6-month period, you make returns of 4 to 7% every month. Now, I will leave a link down below if you want to get signed up anytime throughout this tutorial. I'm not recommending that you sign up for this. I'm not endorsing them, but there will be a link down below if you would like to sign up for that, and it will be an affiliate link. Anyway, continuing on, I want to talk a little bit about the founders, right? So we've got the core idea. We've got that we're going to get 4 to 7% return. We've got to lock up money for 6 months. We've got how they're supposedly making money off this. So let's talk about kind of the safety issues, right? We're going to look at the founders, the people that are actually running this project. How safe and trustworthy are they? How long have they been doing this? Things like that. And then we're actually going to go look at some data that they put out and some audits and things like that, and kind of see how we feel about those. So we'll dive in right here. This is the creators of Project 79. They're also the creators of a project about a year and a half ago called Hydro Whales Mining Club. And what these guys were trying to do is they were trying to mine Bitcoin with water. And they were going to use like hydropower to mine Bitcoin, and then they were going to give the returns to their investors, or the people that bought their NFT. So you can see here, this is on OpenSea. They sold their NFT, and we're going to go look at the history of their NFT. All right, so you can see right here, they launched April 22nd of last year, and they've really done quite well in a terrible market. This is actually one of the reasons that I got involved in the project and why it kind of sparked my interest, because basically every NFT that I have at this point has significantly lost value over the last few months. And you can see here that they've still done quite well for the value of their NFT, which shows a strong project, strong backing. Things are actually moving. They're still progressing, things like that. So these are also doxed, by the way, and probably the most well-known one is Sam Pittman. You can see right here, this is his LinkedIn profile, and he's both behind the Hydro Whales and behind Project 79. So I like that he's doxed, that he's out there. He definitely can't run off with your money and hide. People know who he is. Now, the big question for me was not necessarily who they are or were they doxed, but it was, is this real? Like, right, do they really have these contracts where they're actually getting gold at what seems to be a cheaper price and able to sell it for a higher price? That was where I was really wondering. Or are they just going to kind of turn around and do what a lot of these crypto projects have done and just kind of Ponzi it up, where they continue to pull out money from new investors and put it out there? That's what kind of had me wondering. So a couple things they've done to solve that. First one, I kind of went through their Twitter account for a while and found that they've invited YouTubers and other influencers in the crypto space to actually come out and visit them and audit them, essentially. Now, these are low-key audits, right? These are people that are regular people that may or may not know how to really dive deep and find if there's something going on under the radar. So if you look, you can see right here, they actually had James Pelton, who's pretty known in the space, and a few other crypto influencers come down. They got to see the gold, see the contracts, things like that, and verify that it was real. Now, that's all great, but I've seen projects that have this exact same thing, right, where they have people from the community come and do audits, and it hasn't necessarily worked out. So what they also did, this is where I really like it, is they actually got a legitimate audit from a company. I looked at this company, and I'm not super familiar with the space, but they seem legit. It's Alexandru and Varudakis. You can see right there. Alexandru and Varudakis is the company that performed this audit. And essentially they went through and looked at all their contracts, their supply chain, everything to say whether or not they really could do what they said and essentially what they did is they went and looked through everything, right? They looked through the contracts, they looked through everything to make sure that this was real. It's a pretty decent size audit, but essentially what they say after examining this is they did see all the relevant documentation that gold bullion actually had been purchased and received. They knew and they could verify the source of the commodity, the identity of the exporter, confirmation of the commodity quantity, and they said supply chain has been confirmed as existing, meaning yes, we see this actual process that they're telling you is actually real. There are real people and real businesses and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera involved in this. And in fact, they give an exact quantity. You can see right here, the contract quantity that's been secured equals 1,000 kilograms, basically a gold unit, right? Once again, I'm not an expert. I'm looking at this contract and saying I don't fully understand everything, but there is some legitimacy behind this where someone has gone in, someone official, someone legal, and has said, hey, there is an actual process here. There is an actual product, right? They're not just making Ponzi-nomics of this. And so this was a big part of it for me. So for me, I'm feeling pretty good about the founders, at least attempting to do what they say they're going to do. And I'm feeling pretty good about there actually being a legitimate project that's doing what the project says it will do. Now, for me, I see two potential issues with this, two potential places where this could go wrong. One is what's called a black swan event, right? We've got the price of gold here, and this project relies on the price of gold at least being somewhat steady between the time that they buy and the time that they sell. Now, if there's a massive swing in the price of gold during that time, which to my understanding is only a few days or even a week, if there is a big, massive swing in the price of gold during that time, that could dramatically affect their profits, right? And obviously, you never know what could cause the price of gold to go one way or the other. There could be wars, there could be pandemics, things like that cause dramatic swings in the price of gold. And the second thing I see is they've promised these 4 to 7% returns, but if those continue for a long time, there's a chance that too many people get involved and those returns no longer are able to be achieved, right? They've got too many people, they've got these contracts, but they've got so many people trying to be involved in this project that 4 to 7% is no longer a possibility. All right, let's talk about the logistics of this a little bit. What you're going to do is you're going to go, there's a link down below, again, that's an affiliate link, and it's going to take you to sacrifice.project79.com. It's on the Ethereum blockchain, so you'll probably want a MetaMask wallet, which we have tutorials on this channel about, and you'll connect your MetaMask wallet right here. Once you're connected, you'll be able to see kind of the total locked value in the project, how much total has been invested, what your total amount was, and your total earnings. And you can see if I click directly on my funds right here, I've got available funds. Now, like we talked about, you cannot lock right now. Sacrifice is locked. You can see I cannot put in any more money right now because it's not open. And withdrawals are locked, right? I put in money, but I promised that they could hold it for 6 months, so that's all locked as well. So you can see right here, it's keeping track of my payouts. Every month I'm making about 74, 70, 71, 73. So for about 4 months, they've continued to make those payouts. And you can see I've set it to compound. I want that money to go back in because I only put in $1,000 and I kind of wanted to see where this can go if I continue to reinvest 5% profits every single month. Now, if you're looking to get invested, what you're going to want to do is get your wallet connected, get an account created, and then you're going to want to join their Discord because the Discord is where they're going to release every time. Typically, it's at the end of the month. But that's where they'll actually say, okay, we are now opening up to more people putting in money, and that sacrifice button right here will go away. All you'll have to do is connect your wallet up here. So you'll need to fund it. And I believe they want you to fund it with USDC. So you'll need to fund your wallet with USDC. Then you'll go right here and you'll be able to sacrifice as much as you want right here. And buttons will appear to actually make that sacrifice. Now you're looking at it saying, what's a sacrifice? That's fine. Legally, to my understanding, they had to use the word sacrifice because they wanted people to know this is a high-risk investment, right? This is you potentially losing all your money. That can happen in crypto. And so they use the word sacrifice. So I don't know if that was a legal thing or a marketing thing, but essentially that's their way of telling you that this could happen. And that could happen. That could happen in any crypto project, right? So anyway, that's why they use the word sacrifice, is so that you know that you could potentially be sacrificing this money. Anyway, all you have to do that is invest. And then when that button appears, because it's actually open, you'll be able to click sacrifice and you'll be good to go. You'll see your gains come out here. You'll be able to connect your wallet and withdraw or compound from right here when that time comes. And it's really a pretty easy, simple dashboard to use. And then you'll be able to get a visual right here. You can see I've done 6.8, 6.4, 6.5, 6.7% through all this. So overall thoughts here, I'm leaving in my money. I'm putting in some, and I'm okay putting in a small amount of money. Again, the risk that I see are the black swan event or some kind of issue, right? These aren't necessarily like people that are big into supply chain. They're not masters of supply chain or anything like that. So there could be a supply chain issue. The gold wagon blows up or someone robs it or something like that, right? There's potential things that could happen along the supply chain of buying gold, moving the gold, and then selling the gold. And those issues could potentially result in lower gains or no gains at all, or a loss of your initial investment, also known as a sacrifice. So that's Project 79. Let me know if you got any questions or comments down below. We'll go and look. But again, I'm putting in a little bit of my money to see where this goes because it seems like it's got enough reasons to win that I'm willing to be part of it.